Hello, I thought I would show you how I make masks. First of all, I cut out 3 pieces of 9" by 7" fabric. I'm making a Seahawks mask. I put one layer of really ugly fabric in the middle, and then 1 layer for the backing that doesn't really matter what it is because it's just on the back. So you line those up as close as you want to. It doesn't really matter how precise it is. And the first thing I do then is I have these 2.5" strips with the fabric cuts. Just like I was binding a quilt, I fold them in half. I cut the selvages off, and then I line them up right here with the raw edges all facing the same direction. And then I will sew this on. I've got my machine going really fast, so hopefully I don't go crooked, because I want to make sure that we get this done quickly. Anyway, so I sew these on each end, 1 off of each with the fabric. Don't do 2 of these on the same piece because you need those for the ties. So here's the other one, and we'll put this on here. It doesn't really matter how precise you are, it's all very forgiving. And cut it off. So now I have 2 shorter pieces of these binding strips, as I call them. But the first thing I'm going to do is I finger press that over, I turn it, and now I'm going to sew here. And this I'm using my left pointer finger to make certain that the fabric underneath is laying flat, and then I try to stitch. I did a really poor job there, but it really doesn't matter. It's just a mask. If anybody's that close to you, then they shouldn't be. Anyway, so I'm just lining up the edge here. Sometimes I have to give it a push. I put my finger underneath there to make sure that other fabric is lying flat. And now you have the binding on the top and the bottom. Oops, I forgot to cut the threads. And then I turn it around so it's right side up, and I want to put 2 pleats in there, so I'm just randomly putting pleats in. I hold this flat, and I'm just going to stitch this down because it's easier if it's stitched down. You really don't have to do that. I just do it to make it easier. And then, it didn't cut. Some things don't work the way they're supposed to. And then I stitch the other side so that all the pleats are down. And then I take one of these binding sides, binding pieces as I call them, and fold it in half so you know the middle. Put that in the middle there, and you're just going to stitch this onto the edge of the mask right here like this. Now I'm going to only do one side of it so you don't have to watch. Well, maybe I should do both in case you didn't get it. So I turn it over, and I grab this, fold it, kind of finger press it so it stays good. And I don't worry about finishing that raw edge there. I'll clip it off straight when I'm all done, but it really doesn't matter. And then I just sew this down this way. Fold, finger press it, get it as close as possible, and sew away. And if you're looking at my manicure, just remember, I've not had my nails done for what? More than 2 months. Oh, it's horrible. Please don't look at my manicure. So we're just continuing to go. And I usually try to stop when I'm there. I'll trim off all those threads if I don't get them tucked under. I'm not going to try to tuck them because I'm trying to go fast. Just make sure when you pull this over that you try to be sure that you're covering all of those seams that we put there on that edge. And just keep going. And see how it's not really lined up. You know, if I was a perfectionist with a mask, I would not be happy with how that was lined up. But I don't think it really matters. So I wouldn't be critical about yourself. Just get the mask done. And there it is. Now the only thing left to do on this is the other side. And I don't have, I have a finished one here. So this is a finished one, and it's got the strips on each side. But just to finish this, I won't do it on the video, but you just pick up the other piece, make sure you've got your raw edges here, your raw edges here, they go together. Put that in the middle, you're going to stitch it down here, and then you're going to flip it over and fold and start stitching like that. And it's done. It takes me about 8 minutes to get a mask done, and then when someone wears it, they take the top 2 ties and put those over your ears, stretch out the mask so that it is big enough to cover your nose to your chin, tie the other ones low, and you're all set. There you have it.